Thank you so much for tuning in to She's All Over the Place with Kyriaki. That's me. Okay, here we go. This episode is brought to you by my iPhone. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear the quality difference, but I left my interface at my mom and dad's, which I premeditated because I've been wanting to leave it there so I don't have to travel with it. It's just like a nuance carrying it. Not really, because I love voiceovers, so it's not. But I'm just saying, like, having one at my mom and dad's, because I go there often in my home studio, to have one there, it's good. So I accidentally left it. I was there for Thanksgiving. I accidentally left it. So I ordered a new one to come to my place in New York. And it arrived in the mail room, and the mail room is now closed. So I felt very inspired to record this podcast. I've been wanting to reach out to you and record sooner. And I apologize that you did not hear from me. Please forgive me. How was your Thanksgiving? I want to know. Write to me. How can you be more connected with me? What's the best way for you? I don't know. There's so many social media platforms out there. There's so many different subscription models out there. I've been swimming to find which one is the best one that I like for me. Yeah, I would love to connect more. So let me know what outlet's the best for you. You can write to imaginekatie, Katie @gmail.com and let me know. And we can make it happen. Okay. This is a reflection episode, and it's a great time of year because it's December. Anytime's a great time to reflect, but especially really intimate, my birthday month in November, and then, after Thanksgiving, and we're in December. Here we go. So André 3000 released his new album. First time, I think, the article in NPR that I read said 17 years. I'm going to put the article in the show notes. It's very prolific. I was so moved that I sent it to a bunch of people. When I thought about them when I was reading it, I forwarded it to them to be a conduit. My godmother, one of her doormen, messaged me. I messaged him because he was having an issue, and I got information from my sister because he had a torn ligament, and I was telling him about Thorne, THRONE. I love the product Thorne. They're amazing. Instantaneously, I want to heal him and help him. I've known him for so many years just by going to my godmother's place, and he's so sweet and he's so kind. Like everyone is there. Anyway, I messaged him because this was before I left for Thanksgiving, and I said, "Hey, did you get the Thorne product?" And he, wrote me back, and he's just like, "You have the IDGAF attitude, and you're so positive." He's like, "Don't ever change." And then he wrote, "You're a conduit." And when people say certain words, I like to go to the root. Even if I have a brushstroke, an idea, an inspiration of what it means, I just like to go to the root to see what it says from the dictionary, the Bible, where the resource came from, slang of today. So I looked up conduit. It was really beautiful. And that is my gift. It's my gift. And sometimes people try to capitalize on their gift. And sometimes, I've gone to do it and it just doesn't feel right, but it just feels unfair. But it's paying it forward. And being one of God's angels has always been, my intention, and to connect good people with good people, and I see energies in how I can bring people together, and that's my gift, and I really love it. And a conduit is just that, someone who, it's different things, comes from the Bible, but it's different things, but in a nutshell, it's someone who takes a light and puts it with another light and leads them in the good direction. So that really warmed my heart. Circling back around before I shared that story, reflection. So André 3000, this NPR article I'm going to put in the show notes. I've been listening to it on repeat. Morning, day, night. Right before I started recording, I was listening to it, and I turned it off, and I'll put it back on. I was doing my breath work, running in place, and yoga for 1 hour, listening to it, and I was starting to cry. I thought about psychological things, like trauma and traumatic things that I was intently, leaning into, of wanting to, heal and empower myself and get past certain insecurities of my own, and something came up. up, and it was really gentle and sweet, but a cry came up, and then my yaya called me, which was God's grace for that to happen. It was really gentle and beautiful. And then this morning or last night when I was listening to like 2 a.m, I was just lying there with my infrared red light, and I just had like tears coming down, just like, I wasn't like crying, wobbing, but like sobbing, but just like tears. I was like on my side and just tears just kept coming out. It's so joyfully beautiful. It restructures the way we look at music, the way we look at hip hop, the way we look at artistry, the way something's supposed to be. It's a shift in dynamic on a multitude of levels, and it's so prolific and magnificent, and I am just so moved. I have a catalog right now of like 30 tracks that I released that are experimental, that I made based on how I was feeling, and the way I describe it is like, I journal, I write poetry, and when I'm writing, it's my words, it's my sing, it's my song. But when I'm making beats on Ableton and I'm producing and I'm making beats, it's just like poetry, but with instruments. It's not lyrics, it's not words, but it's a feeling, it's a vibration, it's a sound of how I'm feeling, and that transmute. And that's how we're all connected through music. And there's this universal saying that, one song means universe, and it's how we can all connect. In the article, the NPR article, with André 3000. He was saying he would get into an Uber or a Lyft, a car, and he'd be playing his flute, and there would be a Chinese man or someone from India, and they're like, oh, that sounds like from my country, or this flute, and then he would get those flutes. But how it made this man cry, and how it just moved these people by, just playing the sound. So it's really, really exciting, and I'll just be listening to it probably the next few months, because I started my day one when I came back to New York. When I was in Detroit, I decided I'm going to be doing breath work every day. So day one of breath work, and it's like the perfect tunes to listen to while like you're washing the dishes or whatever you're doing. It's my repeat go-to in my healing journey of where I am. It's very apropos. Anyway, moving right along, I had a photo shoot today with Miha. He's from Poland, and my friend Lee. She did the makeup and she organized it and everything. Really great work, and we're building on different levels together. So I'll chat more about that with you. But I love collaboration, and I love I was listening to André 3000, and I was thinking about my breath work, and I'm like, I want to, do the breath work, like no excuse. I want to do it every day. And I found myself scared to breathe. I found myself paralyzed, short breath, and scared to breathe. And then I would take some deep breaths, and then I would stop breathing, and then I would go back to it. And then I was like attuned to it, and I was able to like do some deep breaths and get past it. But I never realized like how scared I was to breathe. Maybe that's why I have my irritation. That's why a lot of people don't breathe the way that we do, because we have so much fear and fight and flight. And we're just so disconnected from our breaths. We're disconnected from our microbiome. We're just so, disconnected in so many different ways. So yeah, it was like my first time I really gently looked at it and realized like, I'm scared to breathe right now. It was like difficult to just take some deep breaths. I had some anxiety around it. I definitely got past it. So yeah, I'm excited to do some breath work today. Let me know if you're doing any breath work, what kind of workout you're doing, yoga. My goal right now is to do it 4 times a week. I just want to be active 4 times a week, do breath work every day, but make sure I'm dancing, moving my body 4 times a week, 2 times maybe at my place, and then 2 times a week maybe at my godmother's place. I'm just doing a structure and breaking it down so I can just not overcommit, but commit and take action. So yeah, moving right along. Yeah, just again, all of that happened while listening to André 3000's album. I definitely highly suggest listening to it immediately over and over again. The more I listen to it, the more I'm like, oh my God, we're already at song 1 again. The first time you listen to it, it's long, but then after you listen to it a few times, it's like you can't get enough of it. It feels like it goes by so fast, actually. But it's really healing on a planetary level for a lot of people, and we're always talking about how artists heal people, but I feel this album particularly in a very enlightened way heals artists So then artists can be the ones that heal on a macro level, but it really changes the structure on how we look at music and how we look at old models, models that are now that don't fall into place, that don't keep up with where we are now. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some really cool, new, unique ways music will be presented moving forward. Oh, and I was saying how I had like the instrumentals and I could release them, but I do voiceovers too. And now I'm mixing and mastering. So I'm dabbling and leaning into to see where I could go. I definitely wanted to make some music tonight, but again, like I don't have my interface right now, so I wasn't able to. And I really wanted to record a podcast. I'm like, I can just use my iPhone. I'm not gonna let it stop me. And I'm like, yo, if I really after this want to make a song, which I do, I could just record the lyrics on my iPhone. And I got this program called Lander. They had a special for during Thanksgiving where I had Ableton 9 before from DJ music school in 2016, but now there's Ableton 11. So you get Ableton 11 plus all these plugins and packs and stuff where I can put like effects and things on my voice and do cool things, which is very overwhelming because that's a lot, but I could just, dissect it. And this could be an opportunity this evening to go in and play with it. Although I know I'm going to get stuck and frustrated, which is really hard for me, but I dived in, but I could dive in a little more. And the point of saying all this is just create. I'm like rambling over here, but it's just to inspire you to like not know what to do and just create. I read Rick Rubin's The Creative Act, A Way of Being, and everyone like talks about, and there's a lot of quotes about Rick Rubin and his philosophies, and I feel we're very much the same in a lot of ways. But, like once you put something out there, it's already successful. Just create one step at a time. So, I shared with you on former episodes, like, I did the ripple effect. I don't think I did actually a whole podcast episode on that, which maybe next week I will, because I'm going to have a reflection because the campaign ends, today actually. Tomorrow, it ends tomorrow. So I'm definitely doing a YouTube vlog reflection on everything I learned by raising crowdfunding. Wow, I learned so much. So we'll save that for another podcast episode. But this book I've been wanting to get out for 2 years, and it was ready to go last June. I got Bad out, which was great. I put out another song, and Culture Kids is out there. I got the trailer. I entered into some film festivals, some early bird film festivals through Film Freeway, just in the web series category. We're going to shoot some more stuff. So like things that have been holding me back and just like inside of me that I've like been paralyzed and just like holding on to for so long. Like I just wanted them all to get out right now, no matter what, just so like I have a clean, clear vessel, a clean, clear white canvas, and just so I can just like move forward in my life now, fully like matured, like fully, full circle from all that other stuff I was attached to, which Alejandro Younger calls quantum detoxification. His book named Clean. He was supposed to be on the podcast. Hopefully we're gonna have him on soon. He had some personal family issues, so many blessings for him and his family. He's a New York Times bestseller. He has a book called Clean. He has 3 versions. So you want to get the one where it's like a clear glass and it's clear water half full. There's 12 chapters, and get the audiobook in the 12th chapter. And he's from Uruguay, and he talks about quantum detoxification. So there's like, physical toxins, and then there's environmental toxins. There's noise pollution from, what we hear from other people like on the streets of New York City, or just like what our environment tells us. So there's different kinds of toxins that we know about. And he talks about like quantum detoxification and how like right now you could be thinking of someone, or you're always thinking about them, and they're taking up space in your brain, right? And you don't want to think about them, or you're thinking about them, or you're always like, oh, my dad would do this, my dad would do that, or my mom would do this, or my sister would do this. And you're always thinking about like this person in your mind all the time, instead of just like listening to your own voice and your own intuition. And sometimes we're not even connected to that intuition and to that voice because there's so much noise from other people. So there's like quantum detoxification. I highly suggest listening to his audiobook to hear his voice, his passion, and his connection with each word and how he explains it. It's really, really beautiful. But, I've been practicing quantum detoxification for most of my existence, although I didn't know it was called quantum detoxification in 2014, but I know that now for the last couple years. That's really important. So yeah, circling back around, I just wanted to get like everything out off my plate so I can just have a clear mind, clear heart, clear soul, clear everything. So we're in a tentative agreement right now for the strike. I need to vote tomorrow. I have been going out for TV shows and films, which is very exciting. I ran so many different times and I've gone in so many different directions and I've tried a lot of things, and I'm grateful for all those opportunities, all my travels and everything. And I'm really, really focused on who I am, what I want to become, what I value. You know, my whole entire life I've been exploring value. You know, what other people value, what do I value, what is value in a modern day of social media. A lot of times, like, you know, something that would look so prolific to someone else, like I just kind of like, sometimes I'm hard on myself or undermine myself or cut down my ego, or I get confused, like, is it ego that I'm posting this, or like, how is this adding value? Like, is this showing off? Like, so sometimes I just sit with things for a long time, you know, before I, you know, share things with people, if that makes any sense. But, you know, exploring value is, if you have any recommendations on books on value, please let me know. Like, leave it in the comments and connect with me and let me know. Would definitely like to check that out. But value and André 3000, the NPR link will be in below. It's just like, he speaks my language, and the language is not the words you're hearing right now. It's a different kind of language. It's a vibe. It's a feeling. It's why you show up here and you listen to me, my voice, my vibes, how I think, what I say. You know, it's something within you that connects, and you get it. You know, I'm in my position right now, and, you know, when I tell you a story, so like a few years ago, when I was, you know, making beats and stuff, I saw this thing with Phineas and Apple, and it was like less than 5-minute video, and Phineas is Billie Eilish's brother, and they make music together. And he was talking about when he makes music, he just goes. Like, it's like an experiment, right? He's not thinking about chorus, first verse, second verse, like any of those things. And when I make music, I just like, boom, go, and that's it. Like, a lot of times I leave it verbatim. Like, that is it. It's just that, and I send it like that. It's like, sometimes I do songs like 12 minutes, 17 minutes long, like super long, that I had to like cut them down. And I was doing like 7-minute songs and 5-minute songs, and I had to like cut them down even more. So I tried doing like 3-minute songs, like just to make them short, because I go like on these journeys. But cutting to André 3000, like some of his songs are like 17 minutes long, and he was talking about like just going in and diving and giving them like a full immersed experience. And it just gives me that reboot of confidence to like listen to my own little voice and intuition of like what I was doing. Just because like it's not popular, just because everyone else isn't doing it, doesn't mean like I shouldn't do it. Like, so it gives me permission to like, you know, do the longer tracks that I was doing, and so it uplifts me. So I hope my voice and this information like uplifts you to trust yourself more in what you're doing, even if you're not getting, you know, all the applause and notoriety that, you know, we want, the attention, the acknowledgement of what we're doing and we're creating. But circling back around to Phineas, yeah, he was saying like everything's an experiment. I'm like, oh, that's me. And I kept that for like a long time. And, you know, I remember it, but it kind of, you know, kind of like melts away. It's not as strong as when you like first hear it and you're like amped about it. But, you know, a few years later now, I hear this article about André 3000, and now he's talking more, and I'm listening, and I'm amped again. Like, when I listen to that Phineas video and I watch that Phineas video, I'm like amped again. I'm like, yeah, that's it. It's like, oh, and it gives me that ambition to like keep doing what I was doing and keep creating and putting stuff out there. That's where I was then with Phineas. This is where I am now. And then what I'm saying to you is like, and then before that, like where I was before that, you know? So I'm always searching and looking for my voice to be expanded and louder, and not be so critical, judgmental on myself, you know, of how I sound and the words that I use. And am I being too passionate? Am I crying and screaming? Because sometimes I just want to be like, rah, and I just want to scream it all out. And then people will be like, oh my God, she's crazy. Like, look at the way she like, you know, says things. And it's like, oh, that's all in my head. And I just get past all those things. And, you know, what if I repeat myself or lose my thought, or it doesn't come out like a valedictorian, or if I'm giving some kind of, you know, speech somewhere. So I always stop myself and judge myself from, you know, being committed and sticking to certain things because of those things. So if I'm doing that, I'm sure you are too. Maybe know what I mean. I'm not really sure, but let me know. So I have a new song coming out December 6th. It's called Grateful. I made it the evening before Thanksgiving. My dad was doing his thing. My sister and my mom were doing their things. And I just felt like, I don't know, like alone. Like I wanted to be like connected like to my power and what I was doing. And like I was like on a roll for 10 days in New York before I left. And I just wanted to like keep focused. So I just went in my studio and made some music, recorded some voiceover lyrics. And it was supposed to release actually like November 30th. But I'm using a new distribution company, United Masters, which I highly suggest United Masters instead of DistroKid. DistroKid, like it's like $100 to release each song because with all the bells and whistles and things that they add on, it's like so much. But United Masters, you pay a one-time fee all year. It's like so low. It's like $60. I should be an affiliate with them, and it's great. You can release whatever you want, but it's only my second time releasing a song on their platform, and they have all these goodies. Like you can put your song, like submit it to NBA, ESPN. You can submit it to like a TikTok, and I didn't read the instructions well because I didn't do what it said, but I will next time. But like they have all these like goodies and add-ons for like licensing deals and opportunities for artists. So I definitely like United Masters. However, I put the title of the song Grateful on the right and then iconic. And I guess you can't use any words that aren't your artist name or the title. So they rejected it. And because they rejected it, I went and changed it. And then I changed it and I just thought like, oh, it was good to go. But no, it didn't come out. You had to submit it again. I didn't know you had to click the submit button. So I'm like, oh, and so it wouldn't do it immediately. So it's like, oh, December 6th. So it's going to be released December 6th, but lucky you, I'm going to play it right now so you can hear it. Yeah, vibes. It's called Grateful. But yeah, I just left it a lot of instrumental on it. I just did some lyrics. I did some cool things with the mixes. It's my second time ever mixing a song, so I was just like trying something new, but didn't even like really give it to anyone. Just played it in my car with my uncle. I mastered it 2 different ways. I'm like, yo, do you like it this way? I did send it to a couple friends. I'm like, do you like it analog? Do you like it fire? And you know, they gave me their own thoughts. And of course, they're all different. So then it's like, fudge, you just got to go with what you want and what you need, because if you get too many opinions, they'll tell you everything and then you can't make a choice. Caroline Myss, she's a mystic intuitive from Chicago. Myss, MYSS. She has like 16 books on Libby. She's amazing. Caroline Myss, look her up. She has a TED Talk on choices. I'll leave it in the show notes. It's like a 20-minute TED Talk, 22-minute TED Talk or something on choices and the power of the choice. But I think it's on there, or it's somewhere. She talks about like, just an example, like, oh, where do you want to go to dinner? Oh, where do you want to go to dinner? Like no one, oh, I don't care, like wherever you want. Like no one can make a choice. Like, where do you want to go to dinner? Do you want sushi? Do you want fish? Like, what do you want? Like, people have such a hard time like saying what they want. I feel that. I can do it for other people all day, but when it comes to myself, like I have a really hard time. I didn't before at all. But then something happened and I went on this journey where I started people pleasing and caring what other people thought, and like wouldn't like speak up for myself or my voice or my own needs. Like I wouldn't get my own needs met. And it really took me on this lost path. But hey, everything happens for a reason. I was probably supposed to go on that path so I could be here sharing with you now. Lose yourself to find yourself, and I lost myself, and I did it, but I choose not to ever like let go of that again. I'm so brave to have it, to know it, to let it go, and then to like reclaim it. But what I'm saying to you now is that's when I did Dreamland 1111. Most people don't even like remember their power, because at such a young age, from being abused, told what to do by community, society, by being brainwashed, from the TV, from being beaten down, abused, and what school teaches you. A lot of people, their fires go out and they don't remember their power. I was such a sensitive that I remember to keep my flame, and I had to protect my flame. I did my first piece when I was 12, a poetry piece called Oddball. And I just remember I had this flame, and I remember just my antennas were out, and I was listening to what people were saying and how they were being and what was going around me sensorially with like TV and what my grandma would say, what my parents would say, what the TV would say. And I just remember that I had to protect that. And so I did, and I went off to the world, and I had like all these wonderful experiences, which we won't get into right now. But then I chose to walk down a path with someone else hand in hand and let go of all that. But I remember in 2014 that I was going in to face to this labyrinth to face jealousy, to explore jealousy, and to explore anger, right? The number one emotion, jealousy, and the number two emotion, anger. So I remember that I was going in as a scientist. I was going into this labyrinth to like the Matrix, to totally like lose myself. And I was so deep in it that I was attached to that character. So Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about like, okay, if something happens between you and me, we get in a fight. It's a fight. If it goes on for like 4 or 5 days, like a week, 2 weeks, it becomes like a mood, right? It could be like a bipolar mood where you stay in this mood and then you flip out of it and you're in this other mood and then you're in this mood. But if you stay in this mood 5 years, 1 year, like 7 years later, it becomes your character. So then you take that energetic lineage of being that way and going to the root of what got you upset or whatever the emotion was, and you dismantle it. And when you energetically dismantle it, you fire and wire your neurotransmitters in a different way. You can fire and wire new synapses, and then you can unfire and unwire. And so if you dismantle a certain way of being, I looked at myself and I realized, holy camoles, like I became this person and got into these moods, and they're not who I am. And I had an epiphany and I woke up and I was like, oh my God, like in 2014, I chose to explore jealousy and anger and I went down this path. But these attributes, these things are not me. Like these are not me. And I was like, oh my God, like I never have to say or be or do or hang around these people again or do any of these things that I put myself through. Like I don't have to do that. I do not have to do that. And I dismantled all of that, and energetically it just like melted away, and you just rise to the next vibration and go higher, or you move forward and you just remove yourself and you don't have to push it away. It just doesn't exist. It's just like flowing, like it's not there, and I don't have to explain myself of why it's not there. It just is. There is no past. Past is depression. We have right now the moment. The future is anxiety, the future that doesn't exist, right? But we have these visions. So we can be here now and dismantle from things that don't serve us without explaining to yourself or to anyone or even understanding why. So there we go. There you have it. I hope that sheds some light and inspiration on you. I love you so much. I'm going to rock and roll out of here. Yeah, I have been very proud to have a podcast in my 5th season. This is the first season that I've gone all year, first time ever, from January all the way to December, every single week. The first 12 to 16 weeks were 3 times a week, and then we went to 1 day a week, and I think I missed last week. It's like you have to self-sabotage. You have to, anyway, so forgive me. I love you so much, and I'm here for you. And if you like a certain day of the week better, let me know. I'm talking to my girlfriend who's an investigator, and she's really good at interviews, and I'm talking with her about developing to give her a day of the week on the show. So I think that would be really, advantageous for you. Yeah, rock and roll. Say some prayers and good wishes that you'll be seeing me on TV soon, because that's the goal, getting back on TV. Let's go. Releasing new music, Saint Kyriaki, SaintKyriaki. It's in the link below. Definitely follow me on all the music platforms so you can hear all the new music I have coming out nonstop. I'm really excited just to focus and do the music and create and play. Yeah, so I don't know if I should play my Grateful song for you right now. I don't know if I should do that. I don't know. I guess it's like a sneak peek if you hear it here first. But yeah, it'll be out on December 6th everywhere else. So anyway, hope you had a great Thanksgiving. First and foremost, I am grateful for you. And we're in the top 2% podcast out of almost 4 million podcasts because of you. Please make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing this with a friend, and just sharing this around. I'm an independent podcaster. So yeah, I just do this through my intuition, ambition, and my love for human connection. It's the number one thing, human connection. So definitely want to find different ways that I can connect with you more, just pay it forward even more. I don't know how that looks. Just give me some ideas of what you want, and we'll make it happen. Okay, take really good care. Mwah. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Kyriaki, over and out.